Hi and welcome back to our page. You're ready to apply for CQC registration, your application is prepared, your documents are in order, your statement of purpose is written, and then you hit a wall. You need an office address. And you're thinking, can I use my home? Can I get a virtual office? What does CQC actually accept? This trips up so many new providers, and I have seen applications delayed or rejected because people didn't understand the rules around office addresses. So let me save you the headache and break this down clearly. First, let us understand what CQC means when they ask for a location. For domiciliary care services, your location is the administrative base which you manage and coordinate the delivery of care. You're not delivering regulated activities at that address. Your care is delivered in your people's homes. But CQC needs to know where you are running the business from, because that's where they will come to inspect you. CQC defines a location as a place where a provider routinely plans and coordinates care, and from which they manage the regulated activity. It needs to be a physical premises that people, including inspectors, can actually visit. This is absolutely critical to understand because it rules out certain options entirely. Your location address will also be published on the CQC website and visible to the public. This is something a lot of new providers do not realise until after registration, and it catches some people off guard. So keep that in mind as we go through the options. Let me be absolutely clear about this. CQC does not accept virtual offices. Full stop, no exceptions. A virtual office is an address you purchase for business use, typically for receiving mail or diverting calls. But when you don't have a physical workspace, CQC has stated explicitly that they don't want to consider virtual offices anymore to be a location. If you propose a virtual office as your location, CQC will not register it because they cannot exercise their powers to inspect at a premises you don't actually occupy. The same applies to PO boxes on their own. A PO box isn't a location, and CQC cannot turn up to a PO box and inspect your records, observe your operations, or speak to your team. I know virtual offices are tempting because they're cheap and they give a professional-looking business address. But for CQC registration purposes, they simply will not work. And if you apply with a virtual office, your application will be rejected or delayed, and you will have wasted time and money. Don't go down that route. Now, the question that everyone asks, can I use my home address? And the answer is yes, you can, but there are some conditions. Using your home address is actually very common for a new domiciliary care startup. CQC accepts home addresses as operational basis as long as the following criteria are met. First, no regulated activity is delivered at the address. This should go without saying for domiciliary care because your care is delivered in clients' homes, not yours. But it's just worth confirming. Second, if you're renting, you need permission from your landlord to use the property for business purposes. CQC will ask for evidence of this. Typically a letter or clause in your tenancy agreement confirming that business use is permitted. If your tenancy agreement restricts business use, you cannot use that address. And don't try to register without landlord permission because CQC will ask for proof, and if you cannot provide it, that your application stalls. Third, if you own your home with a mortgage, you should check with your mortgage provider whether business use is permitted. While CQC may not always ask for the specific evidence, it's good practice to have it documented. However, nowadays, based on their new application processes, it is a mandatory requirement. And fourth, this is one that catches people out, your home address will be published on the CQC register. It will be visible to anyone who searches for your service online. Some providers are uncomfortable with this, and I understand that completely, but there's no way around it. CQC publishes the location addresses of every single registered service. If you are comfortable with all of that, using your home address is perfectly legitimate and a cost-effective way of registering. If you don't want to use your home address, or if your landlord will not give you permission, the next best option is a serviced office. And I want to be clear about the difference between a serviced office and a virtual office, because people often confuse the two. A serviced office is a real physical office space that you rent. You have a desk, you have access to the building, you can work from it, and inspectors can visit it. It's your actual workspace. A virtual office is just a forwarding address with no physical workspace. Serviced offices can be found through local estate agents, commercial property websites, or by searching for serviced offices in your area. They range in price depending on location and size, but for a small startup domiciliary care service, you don't need anything large. A single room office is usually sufficient. When choosing a serviced office, make sure the lease or agreement allows you to register as a business premises with CQC. Make sure you have secure storage for confidential records, and make sure the office is accessible during normal working hours, so that if CQC turns up for an unannounced inspection, you can let them in and provide access to your records and systems. Let me give you a quick checklist of what you need to have sorted before submitting your application, specifically around your office address. You need a physical premises, either your home or a rented office that's ready to operate from before you apply. CQC is clear that you should only submit your application when everything is in place to start providing services. That includes having your location ready. If you're using your home address, you need evidence of landlord permission if you're renting. You should also check that your home insurance covers business use and that there are no local planning restrictions on running a business from a residential property. These things are unlikely to cause problems for a domiciliary care office, but it's better to check than to be caught out later. You need secure storage for records, whether that's a lockable filing cabinet for paper records or encrypted digital systems. CQC will expect to see that you have thought about data protection and confidentiality from day one. Your address needs to be consistent across all your registration documents, so your application form, your statement of purpose, your policies, your business plan, they should all show the same address. Inconsistencies raise questions and slow things down. Finally, be prepared for CQC to visit that address at any time once you're registered. That means it should always be in a state where you can receive an inspector, records organised, policies accessible, and the environment professional. The office address question should not be the thing that holds up your registration. The rules are very straightforward. You need a physical premises, not a virtual office, not a PO box. If your home address works and you're happy with it being published, use it. If you prefer something separate, rent a small serviced office. Just make sure you have the right permissions, the right documentation, and that the address is ready before you submit your application. Getting this right from the start avoids delays and shows CQC that you're serious and well prepared. If you're in the process of registering and you need support with your application, your statement of purpose, your business plan, or any aspect of getting CQC ready, we help providers through this process every single week at CareSync Experts. From start to finish, we guide you through everything. Drop us a message or check the link in the description. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you in the next one.